Going live, live. What's up, guys? Where my people at? Where my people at? Got a list of things here. Just gonna kind of go through the list really quick and then wrap it up and get ready for the trip in a couple weeks here. Say something in the chat so I know you're online. I see 4 people watching. I'll give you guys some shout outs. The chats might be delayed actually on the laptop, which I just got done wrestling with for like 15 minutes. So I said a prayer. I said, God, please just let me not have any service interruption, any technical difficulties. Please, Lord, just help me to deliver this message and, guide me through my words as I talk to people and interact with you guys. What's up, Gourmet Thursday? RC, what's up, RC? Yeah, let's collaborate soon, man. I watched your live stream with Conservative Mexican. That was great. It was really great. EG Joey, hey, Rev. I'm not quite a Rev, by the way. I see your comments, man. That's great, but I'm not quite there. I don't even know if I'll get there. If I don't know. I'm really on a journey. This is such a journey, and you guys are along for the ride. It's your journey too, just like it's mine too. It's everyone's journey. We're all in this together. We all share this prism of energy that we're in, which I'm going to get to. I'm actually going to get to that. While I'm waiting for more people to get online, I'm just going to add one more thing to my notes here, because I'm just going to use notes, guys. I don't want to forget about anything. So hold on here. Divine. Okay, you guys I'm just going to go ahead and speak this out into existence now. You guys are in for a treat tonight because I'm feeling some type of way. I have some energy about myself, some really positive, high energy that I want to share with you all, and hopefully you will share it with everyone else, and we are going to overcome where we are as a country, as Americans, the world, everything. Everything happens for a reason. I said in the beginning when I started my channel, the long range plan for me with this channel is not going to be talking about politics all day. I mean, of course, I'll draw parallels to politics, but ultimately my goal would be to have people live their authentic lives, unplug from the matrix, and connect to divine source energy, positive love, light, guidance. Because right now we are in, I guess you could call it the matrix, right? It's pretty much what this is. That's what we call it. But it's really just, we're trapped here like we are. Trapped might be like a negative word to describe it, but we're all here together. We all share this planet, and none of us are better than the other, worse than, but because we're in this planet, we're in this atmosphere, we all are interacting with it one way or the other. Some people are fully plugged into it, whether they're working 9 to 5s and they're in the rat race culture. Some people are on the opposite end of the spectrum, and they are just out in nature, meditating, going to the beach, doing all that kind of stuff. And you have other people that are kind of like where I am and where a lot of you guys are. You're kind of in the middle. You were in the matrix, and then something happened. You just snapped out of it. And just, you're awake and you're alive and you can hear and feel. And it's like these senses are just hyper, you just have hypersensitivity. So I'm going to get to that because there's pretty much everything that I'm going to discuss, everything that I'll ever discuss, I believe is parallel to spirit energy. It's, there's good and there's bad. And it's really not hard to tell what's good and what's bad right now. You learn that from the time you're a kid. Like, is it right or is it wrong to do that? You don't hit, you don't steal, those kind of things. You can do that with politics. You can apply that to anything. And it's also like what's driving that? What's driving that negativity? What's driving that decision? And I think that's important to really think about that. Okay, so I'm gonna get into my list here. You guys, please get the likes up and please share. And then also, if you want to donate, the super chat thing is working. If that's fine. If you don't, that's fine. But the super chat is working, so now I can actually see it as it comes in. So if there's a question you want to ask or something you have to say, you can actually send $1, 59 cents, whatever, doesn't matter. But a super chat is going to be the way that I see it because there's so many of you guys typing. Okay, so first thing I want to talk about, the debate last night. I don't know if any of you guys saw it. I know for my Floridians watching, you guys were glued to the TV. That's the only time you're ever going to see me on the edge of my seat with CNN on the TV. Okay. Now, before I even get into that, let's talk about TV. What does TV stand for? Television. Tell live vision. Tell lies visually. That's what the TV does. I still got to do some research on this, but I'm willing to bet that name is not a coincidence because lies come out of that television every single night, and there are people that are glued to it. Think about what's actually on TV. When you turn on your TV, you could watch sports, you could watch the Food Network, you could watch news, you could watch the Weather Channel. There's a plethora of things you can watch. But how much is on TV that's negative energy? It's whether it's, celebrities fighting, drinking, whatever, or just hearing about wars and just chaos and all the madness in the world. Well, when that's coming out of your TV, that's like a frequency, that's a wavelength, and that goes into you, and that energy transcends into you. And once that energy is in you, you put that energy right back out into the world, whether that energy is positive or negative. So right now, my TV, you guys can't see it. Behind me, it's turned off. It is completely turned off. And I don't even watch football anymore. Like I used to watch so much football. It was like I had invested in so much gear and I was focused on the TV every Sunday. I spent all Sunday doing that. Well, now I don't even turn on my TV on Sundays. I'll follow the score, and if the Broncos are playing, I'll watch it. But for the most part, I'm not even engaged in that stuff because it's such a distraction. But for so many years, that's what I was doing. This is what I mean. I snapped out of the matrix. It just was like a light switch flipped on, and I was just super aware of the world, and I started taking in information, and eventually I wanted to speak and talk about it. And that's where I am. That's how I am. That's how I'm here now. But back to this debate, because that was a little tangent there. Andrew Gillum comes out of the gate with identity, politics, and victimhood. I was so pissed. I knew he was going to play the race card at some point, but I didn't think he would start off. You know how they have their opening statements, and Ron DeSantis, he started. See, I think they were strategic about this too, because Ron DeSantis gave his opening statement first, and he also gave his closing statement first, meaning television. Right? What do they want the last thing on your mind to be? What am I even talking about first? I'm leading with Andrew Gillum, right? Because he went last. He went after Ron DeSantis because they want him. They wanted in your minds that, look, Gillum's the guy. Gillum's the guy. So see, these are little subliminal things that are happening, guys, that I'm starting to pick up on now that I wouldn't even picked up on 4 weeks ago, 7 months ago. Like, this is all like new to me that I'm like really hyper aware of this. So Andrew Gillum goes up there, and I think his opening statement, he included some about his mom, and it was very much like to pull in the audience so that they could sympathize with him. And I thought that was just so deceitful, and it really brought me back to 2018, right, when Obama was running, and he came to my school. Everyone just went to like, this is college, so everyone was out there in the promenade, and Obama was, he filled us up with so much emotion. So much so that we weren't even thinking about his politics. Like, all right, what's his policy? Mind you, we weren't taxpayers really at the time, so we didn't care. Like, yeah, make the rich pay for it. The rich people. See, why do we hate rich people? But Obama and Gillum, they're like one and the same. I saw a young, attractive, nice-looking, clean-cut, charismatic, well-spoken, articulate black man running for governor, and he would be the first black governor in the state of Florida. And so naturally, if someone's not aware, someone's not into politics, they're going to be like, yeah, man, I think I'm going to vote for this guy. Like, I like what he's saying. He's energetic. He's charismatic. He's getting the crowd engaged, but he's not focused on the policy. So last night he was really talking about like, yeah, my mom, and he talked about like waiting for the bus, and I'm the only boy of all these kids and all this stuff. And that's great that we're getting to know about you, but this is you're going to have the ability to influence a lot of lives if you get elected. So let's kind of cut to the chase here, because you already skipped out on the first debate. So I was really mad about that. And then he went into like the race car, and he's like, as a black man, I knew he was going to say that at one point, like, as a black man, fill in the blank. So that made me mad. I also noticed he was really arrogant. He spoke as if he already won. He made a statement like, when I am elected, I'm going to do this. It's great to be confident, but you still have a lot of voters that need to sway in your direction that you want to, appeal to. And the fact that he came out like that, real arrogant, kind of smug, he was really guarded when DeSantis pressed him on things. And DeSantis, honestly, in my opinion, I think he really should have pressed him more on taxes. He didn't press him more on like taxes and also with minimum wage. Because here's the thing. I'm going to tell you guys what Andrew Gillum is, what he wants to do. In Florida, a low tax, one of the lowest tax states in the country. There's no state income tax here. I don't think there's a tax on groceries. Their gas tax is low. You name it, low taxes. Estate tax is low. This is why people retire here. That's why they call it like death's waiting room or something. I heard that before. Anyway, that's how Florida is, though. Florida is a low tax state. So it's not like he's just coming in wanting to tweak a few things. This is a radical or fundamental transformation, which is pretty much what Obama said back in 2008, that he wants to change Florida. Like, Florida's going to be different. And, the fact that he wouldn't talk more about his policy and like, all right, how are you going to get this money? That's alarming to me. Like, you're going to raise taxes. Okay. How are you going to get that money? And you want minimum wage to go up to $15. He wants open borders. He wants to abolish ICE. He supports the Dream Defenders, which are a super anti-police group. It just didn't feel right to me that he wants to do all this stuff, but won't talk about it in a debate, because he knows DeSantis could crush him with facts. I could crush that dude with facts in a debate. Like, okay, you're going to raise the minimum wage to $15, and you're going to implement a state income tax, and you're going to tax the corporation 40%. So you want to do a corporate tax, raise the minimum wage, and implement a state income tax. So you're pretty much squeezing money out of a business, which a business is just people. So that's a common misconception. It's like, yeah, you should tax those businesses. Like, you mean tax you? Because the business is just going to write them a big check, and then the business is going to turn around like, all right, how can I make up this money? Okay, they raise the minimum wage to $15. All right, well, you're down to 30 hours a week. I'm going to have to lay you off, and we're going to have to raise the price of our goods. So consumers are going to have to pay the rest. So he's really raising the taxes on you. It's not coming out of the business's pocket. Trust me, it's not coming out of the business's pocket at the end of the day. It's going to come out of our pockets when they start squeezing, doing that stuff. So that really frustrated me. He also denied the existence of the deep state. Like, what? Did you not see who just got elected president? Who, by the way, that's also what he wants to do. He wants to impeach Trump. So DeSantis called him out on that. Like, Florida needs a governor to work with the current administration, not try to obstruct and overthrow it. So that was, despite all of this, guys, despite the fact that I just said all these things, he's leading. Andrew Gillum's leading DeSantis in the polls. I think it's by, how much is it, Tony? Put it in the chat. Tell me how much. I think he's leading by 2 to 3 points. I think he had as much as a 9-point lead. I just didn't have a good feeling about the debate, even though DeSantis came with facts and, he made a strong statement, an opening statement, but I just felt like it was geared towards Gilliam. That whole last night was geared towards him. Cause it was on CNN, who knows if he had the questions ahead of time. They pressed DeSantis on things that have been thoroughly debunked, like that he moderated a alt-right hate group page on Facebook, which you guys can go look it up. I'm in that group. It's the Tea Party group. All it is a bunch of memes, and there's people from all walks of life in there. There's no like, I'm sure there's some people that post stupid things in there where it's like, all right, that's a little over the top, but it's not like a group of people like, man, I hate all the black people and all these immigrants. There's nothing like that. If nothing else, he said he was in that group and he didn't know that he was in that group. Like someone just added him to that group, so, but they brought that up. See, I would love it if the next debate would be on Fox News, but we all know that's not going to happen. So those are just my thoughts on the debate. That's the only race I'm concerned about. I really feel like we're going to still see a red wave. I'm not concerned about Republicans losing the House. Well, they might lose the House, but they're not going to give up as many seats. They might gain seats in the House. Who knows? We don't really know how it's going to play out. But this election down here, I'm very concerned about because he's leading in the polls despite the fact that he has not given his full plan for how he's going. He just says, yeah, we're going to tax 3% of the corporations here. And then there's also federal funding going to other states that Governor Rick Scott just said no on, so to be continued on that. Now, let's talk about these illegals. Man, it's up to 10,000, I heard. I've been working all day, guys, so I haven't been watching the news. I've just been getting updates here and there. But it sounds like there are 10,000 or more, maybe, I don't know, illegals, the caravan coming for our country. As you know, Trump said he wants to shut down the border. He's going to withdraw federal aid that's going to these countries, but they still feel entitled to come here. And as far as I know, Democrats they're button-lipped about it. They're not really saying much. They're just we got to be compassionate. Why wouldn't they come out and say, you know what, we disagree with Trump on politics, but it's absolutely wrong to try to enter the country illegally and demand things. We're a sovereign nation. I tell you what, we're going to find out if we're a sovereign nation or not. If they show up to the border 10,000 strong and we don't have military there, we don't have armed militia there, we don't have anything like maybe a wall. Not that the wall would be there in time, but I'm saying like we have to make a statement that we are a sovereign nation because they don't believe we're a sovereign nation until we prove that we're a sovereign nation. For how long has it been since we just been letting them come across the border, just disrespecting it? We have a legal process in effect, and people they refuse to come over the right way. So that's I guess we'll wait and see. I don't know how much longer till they get here, but it seems like a coordinated effort. Like, where are you getting your water and food from? We all know who's funding it. We know who's behind it. I'm not even going to say his name because I know he's bought everything, and you know how YouTube works, but it's sad, man. I don't know how more people can't see it. I really don't know how more people can't see this. It is so strategic what they're doing, but at the same time, not strategic at all. The truth is hidden right there in plain sight. Right before Brett Kavanaugh gets confirmed. Oh, here's some allegations from 35 years ago. The night before you get confirmed as Supreme Court Justice. Mind you, you've been in public service for however many years, 30 years actually. I think he was in public service. He's been in for a long time. And now 2 weeks before the midterm elections, you have this thing coming up, this orchestrated attempt to draw and divert attention away from real American issues and these very important close races going on to smear Trump as a xenophobe. Well, I guess I'm a xenophobe too, because I don't want people just coming over here unvetted, unfiltered, and just unregulated. Just, hey, everyone comes in. It's not that I don't feel compassion for those people, but it's also like we have finite resources in the U.S. We already have people here that aren't supposed to be here that are going to freaking vote. Which is another reason why they don't want voter ID. So it's like, why can't people tie all of this together? There's a lot of people that aren't drawing those parallels. They're just not getting it. Instead, they're just super compassionate and all that. So again, it's like when you turn on CNN and the optics are images of crying children and women, and they bring in the drama because the drama will appeal to emotions. And when they can appeal to your emotions, that opens a portal to your subconscious mind, and they can plant a seed in there. This is what they've been doing for years. And I just am now like peeling the onion and uncovering this stuff. That's why I say, guys, like this is insane that everything that I've uncovered just in the last 6 months, everything that I've learned about politics, about history, about economics, about just migration patterns. They're like, I nerd out. I seriously nerd out. There's a lot of information I take in. If you guys ever want to know, if you ever want to feel like you're getting inside my brain to see like what I know, go to my channel and go to my my playlists. I have a couple playlists in there. One's called The Rabbit Hole, and another one's called Truth Bombs. So I have everything from documentaries in there to other YouTubers that have uncovered truth. So there's a lot of channels. Check out High Impact Vlogs. That's another great one. I get a lot of information, and that's how I've uncovered this. And that's how I'm able to kind of deliver a message to those that may not have heard it otherwise. So you're hearing it first from me, I guess. So that's my thought on the illegals. You know, I guess wouldn't that be crazy if they showed up just in time for election day and there was some skirmish or something at the border to draw attention away from going to the polls? And then, see, that's what I mean, guys. We gotta keep our heads on a swivel here, because they're up to something. Ever since the Kavanaugh thing, they knew they were finished. That was their Hail Mary pass. They're like, man, we couldn't stop this dude, and that energized the Republican base. We need something else. So they kind of went back into hiding a little bit, and now they came back out with this. And don't tell me for 1 second that the Democrats don't know about this, aren't at least funding it, hiding out. Again, I have not been keeping up on the news, so you guys might even know more about it than me. But that's my first impression. When I think about it, I'm like, it's too much of a coincidence. All right, so I'm gonna move on from there. Okay, so Trump is at a rally tonight in Texas. I guess he's campaigning for Ted Cruz. I found out more than 100,000 people signed up to go see this man. And they're over there talking about, you know, Trump's presidency is a national emergency. Everything's falling apart in this country. I'm like, you guys are so out of touch. Stop gaslighting. CNN, Counterfeit News Network. That's all they do is gaslighting, talking about, yeah, this president, he's so bigoted. Like, Americans are finally seeing this. I'm like, you got to ask yourself this. Does Trump have more or less support than he had in 2016? Because he obviously won the Electoral College. That's all you need. Who cares about that popular vote? He won the Electoral College. That means he won the states he was supposed to win, and it was fair. It was a fair and free election. Because if it were just on him winning the popular vote, obviously Hillary would be our president. Every Democrat would win the election, because all they have to do is campaign in the most populated areas, which are overwhelmingly liberal. You know, so the Electoral College, now they want to abolish it, of course. But Trump, he's killing it. He's the best president we may ever see. I don't know that we'll see a president this polarizing, this fun to watch. Like, it's fun to be on the journey with him, and then to see how they're melting on the left, falling apart. But 100,000 people showed up for him. That makes me feel like there is going to be a big, big red wave, despite Republicans being down in the polls, despite everything that they're saying about all these districts and all these tight races, these local races. They're just reporting based on biased sources. They're probably asking people who would vote Democrat anyway, when they're saying, like, this number of voters said that they would vote Democrat right now. Well, they said the same thing in 2016. And if you look at social media and, you know, just at the ground level, people were energized about Trump in 2016. I went back and figured out, like, how did this dude get elected? It's because the social media, Trump mainstream media, which is coincidentally why they're trying to shut it down and ban pages. There's a way more energy. I feel way more energy when I'm online looking at stuff than when I'm turning on the TV and hearing about, like, what they're saying on CNN, MSNBC. Even Fox News doesn't really talk about it. They're really kind of they're kind of conservative with what they're saying. But when I'm on Twitter, I see people fired up. Look how many walk away videos there are. Those walk away videos are, hopefully they're going to be votes, because, and I'll see this weekend when I'm there, there will probably be, I don't know, if I could guess, at least 1,000, maybe 2,000 maybe more. I can't imagine it's less than 1,000 people that are going to be there. Then you got to figure the black community's waking up. There's a lot of moderates that are tired of Democrats. So how are they telling on the TV like it's going to be a blue wave? It's, you know, even though today they seemed a little more like skeptical, I still don't buy into it. I think that they actually believe that there's going to be a blue wave and Democrats are going to take the House and they're probably not going to take the Senate. I think they kind of figured that out. But the fact that they are out there talking like the Democrats still hold a lead, they're still, you know, it's like, yeah, but what about the silent, not so silent majority? I'm like, do they not see my YouTube channel? Do they not know about all these black people wearing MAGA hats and walking away? Like, they're on social media too. So I think it's great that he has 100,000 people going to see him or that signed up to see him. That's like a freaking football stadium. And every rally that he's been to, every rally he had, like the one he had down here, there were probably at least 3,000 or 4,000 people that couldn't get in that stayed outside and watched it on the Jumbotron. So if that's happening in every single city that Trump's going to, you have to wonder, how is it going to be a blue wave? Because a lot of people aren't even going to vote or they're undecided. So where are they getting this data from? That's it. I'll move on. Now I'm going to get back into something that's a little bit more what I was talking about in the beginning. Okay. As you know, it's not hard to tell. It's not hard. You can see it. You can sense it. I've been so hyper aware that we are deeply entrenched in spiritual warfare. There is a lot going on in this country, in this world that is sickening. It's sinister. And quite frankly, it is the work of Satan. It really is. It is scary stuff, guys. The witch, the whatever it is, the witches and warlocks thing that happened in New York where they had voodoo dolls and pin cushions and all this stuff. They're trying to perform hexes on Brett Kavanaugh and Donald Trump. And that just, you know, it's one thing when we make fun of the left and we talk about, oh, look at the liberal tears and all that stuff. And, you know, that's just funny. But when we get to the point where people are trying to like summon up negative energy and, you know, spread that's why I say, guys, we have a fight on our hands. This isn't just about politics. You're actually going to be voting for a one side or the other, because truth be told, if the Democrats do somehow manage to gain enough seats to impeach Trump or obstruct and slow down the progress that he's made, they're going to quickly, and I mean quickly, reverse course on everything. You can bet your, sorry, I don't want to cuss. You guys can bet that they will look to add some kind of restrictions to the internet, because the internet is why they lost in 2016. If they can get some kind of throttle on the number of channels that are created, the number of tweets that are being shared, because stuff gets shared, it fans out and it spreads like wildfire, but it doesn't bubble up to the mainstream. I don't understand how they don't talk about it. How are they not talking about the walk away movement? Like, don't they know that there are going to be, I get why they're not talking about it, because they don't want people to think it's a thing, but people know it's a thing. So if they're not going to acknowledge in the mainstream media, then people are just going to sit there and think like, well, the Democrats are going to win. I mean, I guess I got to work anyway. I guess I won't vote. Meanwhile, people are bubbling up. Like, there's an undercurrent of people that are, you know, we're rallying, and there's just a lot of negative energy, guys. Like the witches thing and all the anger and violence and, you know, vitriol, and that stuff is all on the left. None of it, quite literally, none of it's on the right. You know, they're still out there in the mainstream media talking about Trump supporters this, Trump supporters that. I'm like, do you know that a sizable chunk of Trump supporters voted for Hillary and were on that side? So now they're this, like, they don't even know. They think that he's still talking to his base that got him elected, which, by the way, those weren't bad people either. Sure, there were a few bad apples. I mean, but for the most part, a lot of people that voted for Trump voted for Obama. I've talked to so many people down here in Florida. I've met, there's Trump flags everywhere. People that see me with this hat on, it's all love. We're having fun. People aren't looking at me funny. I have yet to meet a hateful, bigoted Trump supporter. I'm sure there's some of them out there, but it has nothing to do with Trump. They were hateful long before that. But all of the negativity is on the left, and it's not, and no one condemns it. You noticed somebody got shouted down or was it Nancy Pelosi? She was down in Miami over the weekend, and some Cubans in Miami said some stuff to her, and they harassed her as she was walking into a building. And while I'm thinking like, yes, good, we should just taste your own medicine. I'm thinking, okay, but that we don't want to stoop to their level. We're not them. We don't want to fight fire with fire. We want to douse that fire with water. They're over there throwing gasoline on it. They don't even figure it. They haven't even figured out that it's on fire. We're over here trying to like bring peace, and we're trying to just save our freaking country. But somebody actually condemned them. I believe some Republicans came out and condemned that. But see, they don't do that on the left. They double down on it. Every single senator, congresswoman, from Maxine Waters, Eric Holder, Nancy Pelosi, she said there's going to be casualties or collateral damage. It's just like, that's evil, because there's already a lot of violence over there. And when your leaders and politicians don't say anything about it, that's kind of like a license to go out and attack. And see, this is why I don't believe we need to have as much government as we do, not even as much as we had before it grew to where it is now. Before Obama, I don't think it was this big. I was listening to Milton Friedman yesterday, and he talked about how everything was fine, I think, up until World War I, Great Depression. We were at a point in our country early on in the 19th century where individuality was at a peak. Individuality was thriving. And there wasn't a need for any social security or anything. The country wasn't even, like, no one was talking about it. There wasn't an outcry for, we need social security, we need Medicaid, but yet the government came up with that. See, that's why I say, guys, go look through my videos and learn about the Rothschild Bank, you know, how we moved away from gold-backed currency and started the fiat currency. There's a lot of things that work that led us to where we are today. But we're not meant to be governed like this. Humans are not hardwired to seek this kind of authority. And when people do get in power, it corrupts. And the left, the Democrats, we can't even call them Democrats anymore. I just feel like they're the Communist Socialist Party of America. The Democrat Party is no more. It's the Communist Socialist Party. They want ultimate power. They've shown us how much they are willing to do, what they're willing to sacrifice to retain power, to gain power. Look what they were willing to do to Brett Kavanaugh's family. Look how they take every group that they see as oppressed, LGBTQ and Black and Hispanics, women. They don't care about any of us. They don't care. They don't care about people. They care about power, which is why they don't need to be in power. We need the smallest government possible, just enough to run society. Our government, our federal government, should be like a referee in a game. Just throw the flag if there's something that's outside of the Constitution. That's it. We don't need all of this overreach and all these like mandates, like the Obamacare thing, the same-sex marriage. Kick that stuff back to the states. Let the states have more power. The states need to govern themselves, and then let the counties and the cities, like, let it drill down from there. But do it at a state level, because we're not supposed to be governed that much. And we should have, like, I don't know, more choices. Freedom is our birthright. And we should have the freedom to choose, not to look to government to take care of us. That's kind of how I feel. It's like we're spiritual beings. Our rights come from God, not government. But there's a misconception that our rights come from government because of some of those socialist and welfare programs. Like, hey, we're gonna, you know, we'll take care of you. We'll set up your Social Security so that you're good when you retire. Imagine if that person who've been paying into Social Security all those years could have just saved that money themselves, turned it into a business, or invested in the stock market. right? That's what I'm talking about. Taking back your own power. Now, Social Security is damn near bankrupt. There's people who aren't even born yet that are probably going to have to pay for me when I'm an old man. That's how Social Security works, because the government doesn't have any cash reserves, but they promise all of this money. So when people take money from the government, they don't think they're taking it from someone. They're just thinking, oh, the government, but it's reality. It's slavery. They're taking more of your money and they're using it for stuff that you don't want them to use it on, or you don't have any say so in it. So I just feel like once this is all said and done, I'm going to get into this a lot more with my channel. It's going to go there. But for now, I want to keep it almost strictly political because we're in a fight and I don't want anyone distracted. But that's a way for you to kind of think about why people are waking up and snapping out of the matrix. Because the matrix, you're being influenced. They've conditioned our minds to accept the state as kind of our God. Like, whenever something's wrong, we look to God to fix it. And coincidentally, they took God out of school, or not coincidentally. See, that's what I mean. You got to think about this kind of stuff. Like, we are in this simulation, but we're multidimensional beings. So we need to snap out of that and learn that we are only going to get so much time in this realm. And we need to be loving each other, getting along, spreading positivity, not focused on all these, like, this just stimuli that just gets us fighting and hating each other and separating by skin color and all that stuff. None of that matters when you die. It doesn't. So, I mean, we have to get out of that, because I think that's what helps you kind of make your decision. Like, I've been talking to family about this, even as far as like voting. Like, yes, vote your values this November, but also think about the country you want to see going forward. What do you want to see? What do you want the future to look like? What do you want your kids' future to look like? Do you want more government in the future or less government? You notice this? If you were to ask anybody, like, okay, whoever, what would you do if you could wave a magic wand? What would the world look like? For me, I would say, I want a big piece of land with a house. I want my family to be good. I want everyone else to be good. I want there to be abundance of food, water, no tyranny, no wars, nothing. Everyone's just living in happy harmony, right? That's what most people would say. How many people, if given a magic wand to reshape the world in their image, how many people would say, I would place these people here and call them black, place these people here, call them white, then we'd have Hispanics, Asians, so on and so forth. And then we're going to subdivide those people up by gay, transgender, and then we're going to subdivide them up again by religion, and all this stuff, and we're going to have them fight. But then we're going to have this other power come in, and we're going to call it government, and we're going to let the government be the savior of everything and, fix all this stuff with policy. And, we'll give a little bit, everyone gives a little bit of money to it. Some people will give more than others, and everything's just going to work out magically. Like, this is the answer. How many people would even say the word government in their world if they could create it for themselves? See, that's my point. Now I'm going to wrap it up here, guys, because I just wanted to get that out there. But all this is God's plan. I just really feel that way. I feel very strongly about this. And I'm so excited for this Young Black Leadership Summit that's coming up here in today's Monday. I pick up my suits tomorrow. I got some sharp, nice threads. I can't wait to go to the White House and get a haircut. Everything's going to be getting a haircut, guys. You guys barely see my hair, but I'm getting a haircut. I'm going to live stream everything possible that I can. Everything is just so perfect. It's all divine. Even when I went to go get my suit, I just so happened to go to Men's Warehouse the day that they started their buy one, get one sale. So I got 2 suits for the price of one. I got new shoes, everything. I'm so excited to meet up with some of the other YouTubers there, some of the speakers. Ben Carson will be there. I plan on meeting up with some of these other YouTubers that you guys subscribe to, like Zach Hing's going to be there. I don't know if my boy Jericho Green will be there. That'd be great. But, all the other big names will be there. And it's going to be a lot of positive energy. That's what I'm mostly excited about, to be around like-minded, well-spoken, educated, smart patriots who have positivity. This is all positive energy. It's all love. I feel like only thing I've really seen on TV as it relates to the nation's capital is just protests, marches, signs, yelling, screaming, violence, police, just crazy things. And this is going to be all positive. People walking away, Black Leadership Summit, going to the White House, going to be hearing directly from the president. So I'm super excited about that, guys. And like I said, this is God's plan, because I didn't even, never in a million years thought I would be talking about politics when not even a year ago, I would be watching football all day and spending all my time playing fantasy football, and with this MAGA hat, this thing is magical. I kid you not. Like, I'm walking around and it's like a socialist experiment, or not socialist, a social experiment for me. I'm walking around and I'm waiting to see, like, what will people say? Well, as it turns out, these are red pill opportunities for me. Like, there was a Black guy yesterday that was in his front yard, and I was going to his neighbor's house, and I was walking back to the van, and he's like, "Oh, look at that MAGA hat." He's like, "I guess everyone's entitled to their opinions." And something told me I should go and talk to this guy. So I went and talked to him, because he didn't say anything disrespectful. He didn't shame me. He didn't say, like, "Yeah, you're an Uncle Tom," or "You ought to be disappointed," or "You ought to be ashamed of yourself." He was open to what I had to say. And then I told him about some YouTube channels. I told him, you need to look up the history of the Democrat Party. And then also, you might want to just consider, I'm just telling people outright, you might want to consider voting Republican this November, because this isn't about policy. This is about America versus an unrecognizable country if the Democrats win. So vote Republican, pretty much. That's kind of what I said. But he was interested, and he's going to look up stuff. And that's happened a couple of different times. Do you guys see this behind me? Look at that. Do you see that beautiful flag that I got? So I actually got that from another customer. He saw me wearing this hat, and he said, "Hang on, wait 1 second." He goes back into his garage, and I'm like, because we're talking politics or whatever. And he was really excited to see me with the hat on, and I told him about my channel. And he actually gave me that flag. So people have been hooking me up. So there's a lot of blessings that come out of just standing up for what's right, which is your freedom to express yourself, your love for your country, independence. We all have the right, God-given right for the, pursuit of happiness, whatever, everything that they want to take away. We have God-given rights too. I can say what I want to say, how I want to say it, when I want to say it. You don't get to tell me that. So that's what I mean by, like, this MAGA hat takes on so much more of a meaning than just make America great again. It's like make the individual great again too. Sovereign nation, sovereign individual. That's what I want. That's what we're fighting for, guys. With that said, I'm gonna. This is a good place to leave it. See, I'm like fumbling over my words because I'm just so tired. I got to start doing live streams in the middle of the day so you guys can get me at peak energy. But thank you guys for tuning in. And if you want to donate, if you want to drop anything in my PayPal, that will all go towards anything I'm going to do in DC, whether that's man on the street videos. Someone said I should do man on the street videos down here in Florida, and I'm actually working on trying to do that. So I will be doing that. I hope to, engage and talk to some people that disagree but aren't going to be violent. I don't think there'll be any Antifa there, but hopefully if there are, nothing happens. But I am hoping to, come across some people that maybe I can have a civil discussion with and maybe recruit their vote. I'm out here recruiting, guys. So thank you guys for tuning in. Salute you guys. You guys have helped me so much throughout this journey and helped this channel grow. I'm so grateful for you guys. You're like the best subscribers I could ask for. And you guys just stay tuned. I'll be in DC in about 3 days, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.